exciting to chew. Bacon fast, we're expecting you. And love, Iowa bacon love.
Oh, yes.
Mom, Dad's being weird again.
Luscious.
Honey,
So full.
it's just grass.
Oh, it's so much more than just grass. It's a healthier, greener, and more luscious lawn. Yours can be too.
Look at you.
With 𝗙𝗃𝗃𝗃Brothers Lawn Care.
Remember, no shoes on the lawn. Because you're so beautiful.
Call or click today.
Attention all campers!
Keith Murphy.
What I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career.
Andy Fales.
I'm telling you straight, it's my way or the highway.
Powered by AD.
Just a bit outside.
Murph and Andy. Proudly presented by Ramsey Subaru, live and on demand across Iowa everywhere from the Channel Seed Studios. Murph and Andy, connected by cellular advantage.
All right. We're glad to have you with us for a fun Friday here on Murph and Andy, live from the beautiful beaches of Waterloo, Iowa, and the open house of P&P Small Engines in Des Moines. Andy, how's it going there at P&P?
It's going really well. I love these situations where we set up a remote broadcast and everybody around us is kind of quietly going about their business, and we just come in and drop a cannonball in the pool and play some of our crazy juvenile Friday games. Right,
Cannonball.
Yeah, they're in for a rude awakening. No, we have an open house going here at P&P Small Engine. It's 2715 East University Avenue in Des Moines, east side of Des Moines, the home of the optional turn signal. It is it's a big open house. So they've got Jeff Nicholson has all of these lawn mowers, all this lawn equipment kind of laid out across his big property here. But then inside, he's kind of cleared it out. I don't know if I can show it to you or not. Maybe Aiden can help me kind of spin around. But inside, he's got all these tables set up and he's serving lunch to everybody. So if you want to come by, you can have lunch and sit down. He's got like a cafeteria setting, and there are a bunch of people that are all set up here to enjoy their lunch. Or at least they thought they were going to be able to enjoy their lunch. And then I came in with the Murph and Andy show. So we're going to go about our business as usual. But here at P&P Small Engine, they have something special. So if you're over here on the east side, stop in, check out a mower, eat, just general merrymaking, just some nice people in here to hang out with and say hi to us. Mike, Mr. Movie is here as well. I got a bunch of Confluence beer. I just stopped by the liquor store.
You got extras?
I do. They come in a 4-pack. Here's what I'm drinking today. I got Capital Gold all set for me here. I haven't had one of these in a while. I've been going with those real fancy porters and stouts, but this is my go-to Confluence. Let me see. Let me make sure it's not poison.
I'm a little bit surprised Mr. Movie is not in another matinee showing of Minecraft. It's good you were able to get him out of there.
I offered Mr. Movie a beer, and he turned me down because he might get a chance to interview Bill Murray tonight. He said Bill Murray's band is over at the Val Air Ballroom.
Right.
And he's trying to pull some strings and get over there. And I think maybe he thinks it improves his chances if he doesn't come in there and say, "Hi, I'm Mike," and then just a beer breath breathing all over Bill Murray.
I feel like Bill Murray's one guy that might appreciate that, but Bill Murray is responsible for many happy hours in my life. Not happy hours drinking, just happy hours sitting and watching movies that I absolutely love. So I hope Mr. Movie does get a chance for that interview. Also, where you were talking about going into P&P Small Engines and just engine or engines, is it plural or singular?
Well, they certainly have more than one engine, but I
think the name is engine.
I think it's actually engines. right?
You think
Isn't
it's plural?
Is it? I've gone back and forth.
Me too.
People at the desk, is it engine or engines? Engines plural, as it
Engines
should be.
plural. Okay.
There are lots and
P&P,
lots of engines here.
A lot of small engines there.
You can't swing a dead cat around here without hitting one small engine or another.
Remember when 𝗙cie𝗶𝗹𝗶 would come in on a live remote like you're doing there today and start screaming, bet your house, and the shocked looks on the faces of people who had no idea what was going on? It's almost worth having him do it again, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, we are going to play a game of Who's the Asshole, and so that's gonna get some people some heads turning. I will say that since I started talking, the lunchroom crowd is cleared out.
Cleared out. They're out of there. They're like, man, I have got to get out of here. I got to look like I'm working. The Guest House Tavern and Oyster in West Des Moines sets the table for sports and more today, including Wisconsin Shade.
Oh God.
Ooh, oh man.
Andrew, what are you giving Andrew a little
yeah, AD, are you ready for this segment?
Oh yeah.
I bet you are. Masters Relief, and that works on a couple of levels. And Who's the A-Hole? It's all coming up, presented by Guest House Tavern, Northwoods inspired Midwestern hospitality. Right now, high or low since our last show.
Presented by Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax.
Tim Hawkins and company are working feverishly right now as they're coming down to the wire for tax day, finishing up so many people's taxes. After that, they'll kind of buckle down on the retirement planning section of their business, and that'll be a really good time for you to see them. A lot of things have changed, a lot of just kind of different situations with another presidential administration in. And obviously people's financial situations have been changing a lot recently. So you can go in there and Tim Hawkins will help you straighten it all out. I'm going high.
Friday.
It's Friday. I had a really good meeting with our business manager, John Liebel, yesterday. And I am happy to say Iowa Everywhere is doing really, really well.
I'm glad to hear that.
I think you know me as somebody that wouldn't just say that for fluff. I mean, we're doing really, really well. We haven't even been at this. We haven't been a part of it for a year, for an entire year yet. They've been going, obviously.
Yeah, we just hopped on the bandwagon.
Yeah, we did.
On the gravy train with biscuit wheels.
Yeah, the wheels are rolling faster with us. There's no doubt. But I mean, we have got hit shows. We have got sponsors lined up out the door that seem happy. We've improved our own lives, and we got more to come. I went to that meeting, and John and I had a really good talk about kind of the situation with basically what we're billing right now, what we're doing, and it was great. I walked out of that meeting feeling great, feeling like $100.
$100. Wow.
Yeah, like $100 bill.
That's
that.
great.
That just, I don't care what inflation does. You see $100 bill.
Speaking of longtime supporters of the show, my high is also here that we're on a little R&R this weekend, and we got to see Scott Long last night and went out.
Oh, yeah.
Waterside in the Miami area. We were able to see Scott, say hello, have a couple of beers and a good dinner, and we had a great time. Plus, I had an opportunity to just go out for a few beers and wear my favorite thong, which if you're able to see,
that's not a thong. That's those are cheeky bottoms.
Oh, those are cheeky bottoms. Okay,
yeah,
but
they really hug the crack.
Yeah, just get to wear my favorite bathing suit, have a beer, sit down at the bar. It's a win. So glad to be here. Interact with others on YouTube. Email Murph_Andy at iowaeverywhere.com. On X, it's Murph_Andy. And it is all powered by the Cellular Advantage with 35 regional locations. Proud partner with U.S. Cellular since way back in 1993. Now, let's get the buzz.
The Buzz. Brought to you by Logier Heating and Cooling.
Logier Heating and Cooling, dedicated to providing heating and cooling solutions to Des Moines area families. What's the comfort level where you are right now? I notice you're in one of those 𝗙cie sweatshirts available in the Iowa Everywhere merch store at iowaeverywhere.com. Does that mean it's a little bit on the cool side, or you're just
50s.
out there? All right.
Yeah, it's a little cool. 50s. It's supposed to warm up a whole lot this weekend, but that has not that system has not hit us yet. It's still a little bit cool. I mean, it's comfortable. I'm not wearing a coat or anything, but it's cool.
Let's start with the buzz with the Masters, which is going on right now. And it was an eventful first couple of days, including 65-year-old Fred Couples shooting under par. But it was kind of, in many ways, the most buzz, at least around some of our circles, was highlighted by Arizona State amateur student Jose Luis Ballester wearing a Sun Devils hat upside down, which I guess this is a thing now. I don't completely understand it. AD, help me understand the upside down lettering. What's that about?
It's I don't know. It's the style though. It's everywhere.
It's not upside down. Cool. It's backwards.
Okay, so it's like it's like Chris Williams taking a selfie and not understanding how to put the mirror setting on.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yes. All right, so
it's the Williams selfie hat.
It's the Williams selfie mode. It's backwards lettering, Sun Devils, and then Jose Luis goes and pees on the Augusta National Course in Rays Creek.
Now, takes a whiz in the creek. Yeah,
he takes a whiz in the creek. Now, this is not the municipal golf course in Iowa or Waterloo. This is the most highfalutin golf course in the world. I mean, these are people that don't allow you to say back nine. It's the second nine. There are not fans. There are patrons.
Right. You can't wear shorts.
Yeah, you can't wear shorts. Have to wear pants. There are all kinds of rules. No t-shirts.
No flip-flops.
Yeah, no phones. All of that. And this guy, during a round at the Masters, pees in the creek. Now, he said he later learned that there were some bathroom facilities by the tee box, but he didn't see them. So he did what many of us have done when out playing golf or having recreation, just look around and like, I don't see anybody. But of course, people did see him and cheered as he came up from the creek. And here he is with an explanation of when you got to go, you got to go.
What happened there? Well, I completely forgot that we had those restrooms on the left of the tee box.
Oh, okay. 13th tee.
Yes, correct. And then I'm like, I really need to pee. Didn't really know where to go. And since JT had an issue around the green, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna sneak here in the river. Probably the people would not see me that much, and then they clap for me. Probably one of the clubs that I really got today, like real loud. So that was kind of funny.
Are you concerned that there might be any blowback from that at all? Or I mean, obviously they did see you, right?
Yeah, they saw me. They saw me. I mean, it was not embarrassing at all for me. So if I had to do it again, I would do it again.
Oh man,
the term is splashback, not blowback.
So what is the splashback on this? Is he golfing today?
Yeah,
he is. They let him back on the course.
Come on, I mean,
this is Augusta National. These guys are uptight. I think there's.
I know, but I mean, just think about it though. Let's unpack it a little bit. I mean, first of all, it's your right as a man to pee anywhere you want. I mean, that's
anywhere you want.
Yeah. Well, just
all right, go pee right now in the middle of that P and P.
No,
small engines.
You know what I'm talking about. As a man, the world is your toilet.
Yeah.
To a certain extent.
Is there pee in the creek? Yeah, there's fish in there.
Okay, well, but he's thinking to himself, he's like, well, normally you would just pee on the lawn, right? Or pee on a tree. But he's like, no, this is Augusta National. There's a lot of nitrogen in my pee. I make a burn spot on the grass. You don't want to do that. Same thing with a tree. So he's thinking, okay, the creek is a lot of water, the urine will
fish
go in there,
piss.
It'll dissipate. Yeah, the fish are peeing in there. The beavers are peeing in there. My pee, it'll dissipate really quickly, and it'll be no big deal. So he's actually probably being kind of thoughtful about the whole thing. The other thing is about it's Augusta National. It's this amazing golf course, but it's in the middle of Augusta, Georgia, which is somebody who's lived in Georgia quite a bit. Murph, Augusta is not a real nice city.
No.
It's not a nice. So all the way around it is crap, and then there's this beautiful island in the middle. But that doesn't keep the crap from coming in from the outside. It's like upstream on this creek. I'm pretty sure there's not a spring
In most of
golf course
Augusta, you
feeds
can
this
pee
creek.
anywhere you want, but Augusta National, different story.
Yeah, it's like outside those boundaries, the air keeps flowing, the creeks keep flowing, the birds or whatever keep coming in. I mean, they can't totally seal the whole thing off, right? I mean, it's just kind of silly the way that they make such a big deal out of this little island and don't give a crap about, what's on the outside of it.
Why is your mom in the comments saying OMG?
Oh, no.
Do you think it's about this?
Or
maybe it's
it could be about anything.
It could be how tired my face looks. That's getting a lot of comments. Do I? Yeah, I guess I do look bad.
These windows here have me looking very washed out.
I'm not.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't. I think I've told my mom not to listen on Fridays.
We're just getting warmed
need
up.
To tell her again.
All right, let's give her a pause here. Is AD, how's the leaderboard doing right now? Let Andy drink on camera as we check out what's going on at the Masters other than people peeing in the creek.
Yeah, so Justin Rose just finished his second round. He's still the leader at 8 under. Bryson DeChambeau at 7. Then there's a big group at 5 under, including Rory McIlroy, Scotty Scheffler, and it kind of goes down from there. So, but yeah, Justin Rose, who had a really nice day one, is still your leader after his second round. So Murph, that means you are doing pretty well. Ludwig Oberg is right up there. He's 4 under par. So you and Chad Leistikow in our circa Masters bets are doing pretty well. Rory is doing well for Sipker. Me and Hassel right on the cut line with John Rahm. He's got to pick it up a little bit. I think Tommy Fleetwood's doing pretty good for Van Wink. So we're gonna have a good weekend here as we come to the finale.
All right, who's just crap in the bed?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Hassel? Oh, you said Rahm is picking it up.
He's played a little better. I think he's just over the projected cut line. Yeah, he's 2 over par, and the projected cut line is 3 over par right now. So I don't think any of us right now are worried about being cut.
All right. Well, Andy is headed to 𝗙cie House of Trivia tomorrow night as one of my favorite events. You and I have hosted it many times, but often I'm away for that weekend as we clear the football and basketball seasons. And I won't be at 𝗙cie House of Trivia this year. I will miss it. It's a great event. I don't know how long it's been going, but we've been there for most of the years, and you've been there for more than me. And it usually follows the spring football game or spring scrimmage, if you will, but there's not one this year. Matt Campbell is one of many coaches who has opted for many reasons to not have a spring game.
Yeah, and I think I've been there for all of them. I think, and I feel like, you can really tell the difference between the years when there was a spring game or spring practice and when there wasn't, because there's first of all, there's a large portion of the crowd that enters Hilton Coliseum pre-drunk.
Yeah, they've been tailgating like it was mid-season.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter what the weather's been like. They're like, that's an excuse. I'm bringing in the RV. We're tailgating. We're getting drunk. Either way, it's fine. It's a great event, but I feel like they probably have. While the energy level is down a little bit, if you haven't had the spring game ahead of time, the energy level is probably higher when you've had the spring game and the drunks come in, but then because they get tired, they start wiping out. You can maintain more focus throughout the crowd in this trivia game, which is a really difficult trivia game. They do a really good job of. I mean, you and I will be up there and we've got the answers in front of us. Sometimes we're like, God, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's humbling.
It's tough. It is. So I think that'll just mean that things are more competitive tomorrow.
Matt Campbell is not somebody who is worried, as many other coaches are, about a bunch of players hopping in the portal. There are some football coaches, because the portal opens back up after when a spring game would be played, there are college football coaches out there that don't want to showcase their players so that other programs can come in with big NIL offers and maybe grab up some players that have not been exposed to the public yet. But I don't think that's really an Iowa State worry, or for that matter, an Iowa worry. They don't tend to have a bunch of players jump in the portal. But it's been a long time since it was like a competitive spring game where you really felt like you learned anything. But let's get a quickie poll from WCI Pools and Spas in Ames and Urbandale.
You care if there's a spring football game or scrimmage? Yes or no? Most people.
Wow.
I will say, like, I as an Iowa fan, I care a little bit. It feels like it's one of the few times in the spring where the media gets to see the team, and there's usually a lot of coverage that comes out of a spring game or a scrimmage. You don't learn a whole lot. Maybe you learn that your high-priced portal quarterback is not as good as you hoped he was. Fans have sometimes.
For example.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it's like we're hungry for football at all times. There's football happening with our favorite teams. It would be nice to. I mean, if you go and get a look, great. But more than anything for me, because I usually don't go over to Iowa City for their spring practice. It's just the coverage that comes out of it and kind of some of the media stuff that I enjoy.
All right, so you're going to care about this next thing, though. Wisconsin linebacker Daryl Peterson says the Badgers do 42 push-ups at the end of every spring practice because they want to be reminded that the Iowa Hawkeyes put 42 points on the Badgers this year, and it doesn't sound like they're ready to give Iowa much credit for that.
Yeah, because when have you ever heard Iowa score 42 points ever? like ever. You know what I'm saying? So I think for me, like that one, obviously all three of them, but 42 points is unacceptable to anybody, but especially those guys.
Dang.
He's right.
Ouch. Yeah, and it did get better this year.
Yeah, get used to it, Daryl.
Yeah, big shift this year, to be fair, but the reputation is still there to be embarrassed by an Iowa team that scores a bunch of points. It's probably not as fair now as it would have been in the last few years of the Brian Ferentz era. But how's that make you feel, AD?
It makes me feel awesome that they're thinking about Iowa this much, that they're that embarrassed by losing a game to Iowa. They do 42 push-ups after every practice. That's awesome. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
It just means they're going to get stronger.
I hope they do 55 push-ups after we kick their ass this fall.
Speaking of the explosive offensive scoring output that was the Brian Ferentz era, a new QB1, Mark Gronowski, played for South Dakota State when South Dakota State went into Kinnick Stadium and lost to Iowa in one of the all-time great college football games ever played, 7-3.
The greatest offensive game of all time, I call it. But no, that game was awesome. It was the loudest stadium I've ever played in. A lot of loud Kinnick, Iowa fans. It was a lot of fun. It was loud, and I couldn't even hear myself at the line of scrimmage. So I'm excited to be on the other side of it next fall.
Oh man!
And don't forget the 7 points Iowa scored was not a touchdown. It was a field goal and 2 safeties.
That's right. That game was brutal.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yes.
That was rough.
That was
rough. And it's good that he joked about it. And thank you, Blake Hornstein, for the video from the Iowa Hawkeye media availability this week. Grimaldi's fan photo winner, $50 gift card to the winner of the Grimaldi's fan photo contest we have each week. Grimaldi's Coal Brick Oven Pizzeria on Mill Civic Parkway in West Des Moines and the District at Prairie Trail in Ankeny. Who's our winner, AD?
Aaron McCullough is our winner. I asked for some kind of different sports, and he came up with hockey. Here's him and his daughter, Katie. She's a New Jersey Devils fan for some reason, but they went up to Minnesota when the Devils were playing the Wild and saw that. He said they had a really good time, and the Wild fans were kind to them, even though they were not shy about the 5-2 New Jersey win.
Nice. That's our first hockey fan photo winner. Well done.
Send us pictures from the Iowa State spring game.
All right, so trivia question for each of you. Take some wild swings if you don't have a guess. I don't think it's easy. What 3 NFL teams have never had a number 1 overall draft pick?
Well, I would say the Steelers, but I think they took Terry Bradshaw with the number 1 pick.
Cowboys?
Cowboys.
No,
have
they
had a
took
number
Troy
1.
Aikman.
Yeah, and if you're in the comments and you have a guess, 3 teams never had a number 1.
I don't think the Packers have had the number 1 overall pick.
They have. They have. I mean, we're going back. Yeah, we're going back to. Remember, there used to be. The NFL draft is gone for a long time.
They took Randy Duncan. Yeah, they took Randy Duncan with the number 1 pick. Oh my God.
Yeah,
I'm thinking like in terms of Super Bowl years, and you can't do that.
I was checking with Iowa and Iowa State this week to see for our next NFL draft show what is the year the most Hawkeyes or the most Cyclones were drafted. And you forget there was a year like in 1945 when 21 Hawkeyes were drafted or some number like that, but there was 20 something rounds to the draft. And Iowa State had 6 or 7 players drafted in the 1970s, back when I think there were 17 rounds to the draft. But the most Cyclones since they went to the current, 8 rounds now? 7 rounds? 7 rounds?
7, yeah.
7 rounds. Since they went to that, 2022, Iowa State had 4 players drafted. And Iowa had like back-to-back years, maybe 2010, 11, 12, somewhere in there where they had like 6 or 8 players drafted. But back to the number 1s. 3 teams.
I'm gonna guess the Vikings.
The Vikings haven't had a number 1 since the 1960s, but they have had a number 1.
So Matt says Seattle, Denver, and Baltimore.
Okay, wait a minute.
Not all 3 right. I think he Googled it.
Denver. Now, see, because
Matt is right.
Denver did not take Elway with the number 1 pick. The Colts did.
Right.
And they
Matt
traded
is right.
him to Denver.
Either Matt really knows his draft history, or he's got a.
Well, that was such a long anecdote that you went out on there that
yeah,
he had
sorry
plenty of
about
time
that.
to Google
Yeah.
search.
Yeah, well, I cut the
Seattle,
whole
Denver,
week
and
with nothing
Seattle,
to
Denver, and
do,
who?
so I just thought I'd talk for a while.
Who
Ravens, Broncos, Seahawks.
Ravens, Broncos. Oh, the Baltimore
do the Ravens?
The Baltimore Colts did have a number.
I was going to say, and do the Ravens have the Browns history? Have the Browns never had one pre 1998 or whatever?
Tim
I think that's bullshit on the Ravens. I'm calling BS on that.
Yeah. Let us know how you feel. And now here's a kinder, gentler Bill Belichick coaching college football at North Carolina, mic'd up.
Hey, good route. That's the right idea. It's close. Good job on the split safeties. Yeah. We hit him in no huddle. We hit him here. Well, at least we're throwing the ball to the right place. Good call, Bobby. You're getting those. You're getting a lot of those. Like, damn near every call you make's a good call. I'm telling you. Yeah. That's how you move the ball down the field. You got to hit some of those plays. And look, there were still 30 seconds left on the clock. All right? Nice job. Nice job. It's a lot quieter over there on defense when we make a few plays. That's how we shut them up, right? You shut them up by making some positive plays. That's it.
Andy, more responsible for this new attitude from Bill Belichick, his 24-year-old girlfriend, or his job in college?
It's his 24-year-old girlfriend, who, by the way, is competing. She's going to try to be Miss Maine this year.
I've been to Maine. I don't think there's a lot of competition. She could win this.
I think she's done it in the past. She's going back to try to reclaim her title, but she's going to be Miss Maine. She's that young, really?
She's 24. She can't rent a car.
This isn't Mrs. Maine or Ms. Maine, where they have, like these 40-year-old women that want to reclaim their beauty pageant past. And she's like young enough to be in the regular contest. That's nuts. I mean, it's got to be that, right? I mean, because one way you look younger is by being happier.
He looks happy in this picture.
Is that Photoshop?
No.
Let's let out that
That's at
jacket
the
a little
NFL
bit
honors.
there, Bill. That thing is tight. That button comes off, it's going to put somebody's eye out.
Yeah, you better wear some goggles around that button.
Jeez,
That's not the only thing that may
this
come
is
out.
granddaughter.
Jeez.
Oh my God.
Man, all right. Confluence is the official beer of Murph and Andy. Confluence is where good things come together. Andy, you've already cracked one open.
I'm drinking the Capital Gold Vienna style lager today. This is my favorite. Oh, Miller Lite.
I'm going Miller Lite because there's not Confluence here. Little hair of the dog.
Miller Lite should have never gone away from that can. That is a classic can.
Did they?
Yeah, they did for a while. It was different. They were changing it up. It was probably a 90s thing. The 90s really screwed up some fashions, boy.
What are you drinking on the job?
Gatorade.
Oh, come on, man. You got a whole bar behind
scrambled
you.
eggs and some protein shake.
Go back
to the protein shake.
We're working. We're working.
Yeah,
We're
we're working real hard.
All right, it is time for ThrowDowns.
ThrowDowns. It's ThrowDowns. Backed by Heartland Tire and Auto.
Heartland Tire and Auto, treating you like family in Ankeny, Knoxville, Boone, and Creston, an authorized dealer of both Bridgestone and Firestone tires. Murph, we'll start with you. Let's see. Rory McIlroy and Collin Morikawa stirred up a small controversy this week, saying they are under no obligation to talk to the media after their rounds of golf, which is technically true. Should the PGA Tour require post-round press availability from its players?
It's a tough one because they are speaking the truth. They are not required. And Rory famously melted down and is captured on the Netflix Full Swing documentary. He didn't speak to the media. It was not a great look for him. You could also understand how he just didn't feel like he had anything productive to say. And he was so despondent over playing that poorly with a chance to win that elusive major. But I think they should require it. I mean, they do in every other sport. The media publicity and relationships and talking, that is a big part of why it is so popular now. I would say yes. I know not a lot usually comes out of it, but everybody has a job to do, and that includes covering when you play poorly.
This is the PGA Tour that doesn't require them to do that. I mean, it's the PGA Tour's rules. They're the ones that are paying these guys, that are setting all of this stuff up. And if they feel like they need that publicity, they have the right to make that requirement. You don't want to follow that requirement, don't play. It's as simple as that. If they don't have that requirement, though,
you don't have to do it.
Then they don't have the requirement, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have to do it. They must evidently feel like it's not something that's all that important, and maybe it's not.
I would guess that it's been part of a negotiation, as whatever contract
players union.
Yeah, I think there is.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't see how that would be that difficult, that big a deal. Somebody like Rory McIlroy, who's from Northern Ireland. I mean, that dude lives in a fishbowl. I mean, that media covers him and probably soccer and nothing else. I bet he's got a situation that we can't quite fathom. American golfers, I would think that maybe they have a different situation. But look, I mean, you set the rules. These guys set the rules. These leagues set the rules. Because they want that promotion. I mean, they want that free coverage. They're paying all of this money to the athletes, to everything else to set up all of this stuff. They feel like, the media coverage. I mean, the media isn't some separate entity that they're talking to. You're talking to fans through the media, and that's important. People forget that. So, I mean, in a way, you are kind of hurting yourself by not using the media to help publicize yourself. But, these days, players, a lot of them, politicians, whomever, feel like they can just get their own messages out there via social media. Now, those, very often aren't very honest messages. They're just whatever you want, people to see of you.
Right.
But look, I mean, you set these rules, players agree to the rules, they got to follow them, and if you don't set them, they don't have to.
And it's such a personal sport too, because you don't have teammates. I mean, you're out there all by yourself. So
it's just you.
When you do melt down the way McElroy did when he got in his SUV and left without saying a word, despite the fact that everybody wanted to hear from him, he is in his own world at that point, and just wants to get away from the mics and cameras.
You understand, but it's also he's the only one who can talk about it. You can't talk to his teammate about it. You can't talk to his coach about it. If anybody's going to comment on it, he's the only person who can.
Yeah, good or bad.
Yeah, right. Andy, the Nuggets and Grizzlies each fired their coach just days before the NBA playoffs begin. If you knew a coach was on his way out at the end of the season, would you let him coach the playoffs, or would you shake things up and make one of these late season changes?
Well, not to cop out, but it depends on the situation. I mean, if it is clear to you that the coach is standing in the way, then you get rid of the coach and try to do something. You try to change something up. You feel like you've got the players. Then I'm fine with, making this Hail Mary play. But I mean, I would think for the most part, it would be awfully difficult on your team to just all of a sudden change up the leadership and, play calling right before the most important part of the season. But that's not giving you the answer that you want. I would say as a general rule, no, that's probably not a good idea. It doesn't make sense. But there will be situations where you just see the coach as the singular problem. You pull that problem out, maybe you give your team a better chance.
I think if you've identified the coach as a problem enough to know that you're going to fire him, it's time to make the change right then and there. I mean, in this particular case, I think they feel like the Nuggets have largely wasted a generational talent, 𝗀cie. I mean, they have won a championship, but they feel like they should be even better. But Andy's right in that it is situational. If you still have the locker room and the players are still competing hard, you might consider sticking with that coach just because you feel like they're going to keep playing for him hard down the stretch. I mean, Tom Davis coached a lame duck year to the Sweet 16, and Iowa hasn't been back since.
Thanks for that reminder. Appreciate it, Murph. Cody Bellinger missed the game with food poisoning after eating some bad chicken wings. He says he won't eat wings again for 5 years. Murph, if you got food poisoning from one of your favorite foods, how long would you wait before trying it again?
I don't think I would put a time on it. For me, it's when I've had a bad experience with something, I can't get over it. Yeah. Like when I was young and dumb in college, at some point, we had a bunch of screwdrivers and we drank way too many of them. And we were also eating Oreo cookies. It was an awful combination. And predictably, I got so sick. And I don't think I've had a screwdriver since. And just the smell of one brings this kind of visceral reaction to me. And a few years ago, I was starting to get really sick. And I think it's called a snake bite. It's like a Guinness with some kind of cider in it. And after I had that night, I just got really sick. And now just the thought of one of those, even though it had nothing to do with that drink, I'll never have that drink again. So I think I would be done if I got food poisoning.
I'm with Murph. I agree with this. Is my mom still listening?
Let's see.
Anybody know?
Say something inappropriate.
Oh, well, this is a little Easter egg for my mom. This will be a good one.
Oh, no.
So one time when my parents were out of town, when I was in high school, I had friends over and we were making gin and tonics because that sounded good. Like
in high school?
How dumb is that? Because when you're a kid, there is no more disgusting taste than your parents' alcohol. Like my mom would drink white wine. White wine is, I still don't like white wine. And
I don't like white wine either.
It's disgusting. But my dad would drink like a vodka tonic. You know how disgusting a vodka tonic is to a kid? Well, so anyway, we got gin and tonics. Didn't have no lime. Didn't really know how to make them. I drank a bunch of those. I got sick as hell. Had a horrible hangover. My parents came home the next day. They're like, "What's wrong with you?" And I was so sick. I have not had a drop of gin since then.
Really?
I was about 15 at the time. No, I hate it. I mean,
I kind of like you.
I make them for you, for anybody. I make them all the time. I don't ever drink. I can't eat. I don't even like to smell gin.
AD, which
it's that bad.
alcohol in middle school did you not like?
Yeah, cinnamon
You were in
alcohol.
Wisconsin, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Middle school, I was here in Iowa. I didn't start drinking until I got to Wisconsin in 10th grade, and then I was way behind. Cinnamon alcohol is the thing for me. Goldschlager, Fireball, can't do that. And then, like, I thought you guys were kind of crazy saying you never eat it again, but then herky the cat points out, I tried to eat that whole box of Twinkies in 10 minutes.
Oh yeah,
You
have you
sent
had
to the
another
hospital.
Twinkie?
I'll never have a Twinkie again. Doesn't sound good to me at all.
Like just thinking about a Twinkie probably makes you a little ill at ease.
I get a little sweat. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I used to love Twinkies.
That's not a big loss from your diet,
No,
Andrew.
it's not.
So
It's
don't
not.
worry.
All right, that's throwdowns.
Ready or not?
Is that what that was? That was throwdowns.
That was
People,
throwdown. By the
people
way,
here
I
at
think-
PNP Small Engine were like, "What in God's name are they talking about over there?"
hell are they talking about? Good news, Andy. I don't think your mom is watching anymore because she has not commented yet on the Easter egg of you having gin and tonics in high school.
His phone is ringing.
But you don't know my mom. All right. That could also mean that she absolutely heard it, and I will not hear from her for a month.
Really? Like just some passive aggressive punishment? Retroactive?
She will take a time out to cope with her anger or her feelings.
Andy,
she's a therapist.
Andrew.
Yes.
Does she
right.
call you? Does she call you Andrew when she's mad?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Among
Andrew.
other things. Yep.
Andrew Fales.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, you don't understand. It was hard. I had a hard time. I am the oldest.
Yeah.
My parents, I mean, when I screwed up, it was a huge deal. By the time my brother Toby came along, I mean, they didn't care. I've litigated this with them before, and it was ridiculous. The double standards between oldest kid and youngest kid. It's ridiculous.
Oh, our older boys tell Colin all the time, like, you get to do all this crap we weren't allowed to do. Yeah, well, we're worn down.
My parents, I was threatened with reform school, military school, so many times. My brother was way worse than I was. And my parents still, to this day, in their minds, that is not true.
You were going to be like Timothy Hutton
according to the state of Missouri, that is true. Okay. According to my parents, not true. I was the bad kid.
Ready or not, it is time for Scott School.
Scott School, Scott School, Scott School is cool. Yeah.
What? Or not.
What is happening? What? I don't understand.
Ready or not? Warm up. Where are you? What are you doing?
Oh no. Okay, I'm at a
beer all over the
very
gas
cool
trimmers.
man's weekend where we're playing board games. And
I'm sorry, did you say really cool?
Yeah. Everybody here has huge hogs. So we're playing board games, and we have the YouTube on, and it turns out there's a slight delay. And then I heard you call for it, and then I sprinted up.
I even falsely called for it like 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, and I sprinted up here 2 minutes ago, and then it was like, it was a throwdown. So I went back downstairs, and as soon as I get down there, you guys are like,
well, you got to be
it's
ready,
time for
man. You
throwdown.
got to be ready. You're on call.
Yeah, it's time for Scott School.
You guys ready? Did you
You're
know
ready.
that originally when firemen would show up to put out a fire, the insurance company would be the one who would pay for that fireman, whoever would put out the fire. So it's sort of like a fire bounty. But the problem was there weren't fire hydrants. So you'd have to show up early, start digging into the ground wherever the water main was at. You'd crank right into that main line. You you'd get your hose out, you'd put out all that fire, you'd get paid, and then you would have to put a plug right back into that hole, and then you'd make that go up to the top. So the next time it'd be easier. But the cool thing is because it was a competition for payment, the fire departments, which were private, would send like their biggest goon guys so that whoever showed up, you're going to have to fight to get that plug into that main line of water. And that's Scott School.
Scott School, Scott School, Scott School is cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Scott School presented by Hoodoo, the Odd Job Marketplace.
I thought they showed up with like water trucks, like with a big tank of water.
We're going back before there were cars, Andy.
My favorite part of Scott School is always, and Jenny, why are you crawling on the floor? what are you doing?
Trying to stay out of the shot.
Oh, that is what she just army crawled.
She's trying to stay out of the shot.
Oh my
Should
god.
be obvious.
Yeah, guess that was obvious.
Jen
Yeah,
doesn't
so
know what he's
Andy,
talking about. Her games are the
fact
best.
check this week's Scott School.
What's that?
What's your fact check for this week's Scott School?
I don't have a fact check. I've seen lots of pictures of the old like fire trucks that just had like a big tank of water. You can't see my arms, but yeah, big tank of water, and they would show up, and when the water was gone, they were like, well, can't get the rest of the fire out. We've got to, if you want to wait here while and like blow on it for a while or something while we go get more water.
I thought they passed the buckets down the line. Or is that going back?
Yeah.
That's going back
That's
to the
those,
old
that,
West.
those are cartoons.
Okay.
That was before they had water that went through pipes.
See, I'm thinking of Silverado. Let's get a stupid quickie poll presented by, I guess, Hoodoo, if they're willing.
When did you first mow a yard?
Oh, here we go. These are good questions.
Yeah, I was in elementary school, middle school, high school, or later, or I still have not mowed a yard.
Well, I'll say, hopefully my mom is listening to this too, but I was the youngest kid on the block mowing our yard because my dad hated yard work. Hated yard work. It was ironic. My dad hated yard work. My mom liked it, still likes it. And I was out mowing, and I still like yard work. I love lawn equipment in general. I can't wait to get done with this show so I can go sit on some of these lawn tractors and stuff. But I like mowing the lawn, but I started early, and my son is learning how to mow the lawn. And I honestly, it's going to be hard for me because you got to get the reps in, when you're learning how to do a lawn or mow the lawn, you got to get the reps in. And I don't really want to turn the job over to him. I like doing it, but he needs to learn how to do it.
Is he pushing or riding?
I'm making him push first. That's
Good.
how you learn, to strive, where to keep the wheels and stuff. But this year I've promised him he gets to learn on the Cub Cadet.
Ooh. So you're elementary school, Andy?
He's fifth grade. Yeah, I was elementary school for sure. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Scott, how about you?
Elementary school. Yeah. We had a big full acre we had to mow. So my dad used to push mow that whole acre after he worked 50 hours a week at the Hello roll screen factory, right? Oh, you can imagine he wasn't such a happy camper those days in the 80s. But eventually then we were able to afford to get a riding lawnmower. So he was teaching me, and I was out there first time doing it my own, and I'm driving by the house, and left I have an entire half acre of open grass. To my right immediately is the house. I, of course, turned directly right into the house. And to this day, there is still dents in the siding from where I ran the John Deere lawnmower into the house.
Oh,
yeah. What happens?
It was the 6th or 7th grade for me. So that would be middle school. And then in high school, I was part of the famous F&M lawn mowing service, as I'm sure most of you are familiar with that corporation. AD, what time did you start mowing yards?
Yeah, it was elementary school for me, but I had 3 brothers, and so we would always split it. And we didn't have like a huge lawn, so we just split it up. So I'd only have to do like a quarter of the lawn.
Really?
Yeah. So
It was a lawn relay.
Yeah, exactly. It was like I'd go out there for 15 minutes, mow my little quarter, and be like, "Hey, it's your turn, man. I'm done."
Nice. All right. Well, that was today's Stupid quickie poll. Scott, that's in honor of Andy being at P&P Small Engines.
I love P&P Small Engines. Get there, everybody.
You got their deal. We have the dealer reps here from Cub Cadet Ferris and Toro. So they're out there showing these models, and I can read their lips. They're like, "What will it take for me to put you on this lawn tractor today?"
So when Cub Cadet Ferris and Toro reps are there together, is it like the
Jets
Anchorman?
and Sharks?
Yeah, is it like Anchorman when the anchors from the different stations show up?
Yeah, they're all
rumble?
yeah. They don't like stand near each other. They're always just kind of facing off. Yeah, there's going to be a rumble out there in Jeff's lawn here soon.
All right,
I think they're all cool with each other. I think they're all good.
Let's get some more.
But wait, there's more from Either Or Eatery and Patio.
Either Or Eatery and Patio is going to be jumping this weekend as we get into the 70s. Tomorrow it's probably doing just fine right now. You want to check this place out. We talk about it all the time. Check it out for yourself if you've never done it, though. It is one of the most talked about new restaurants in Des Moines. Still new. It's just over a year old. And
Don't forget to ask about the 𝗀cie𝗶𝗃 special.
The 𝗀cie𝗶𝗃 special. That's right. 6222 Grand Avenue, right on the edge of Des Moines and West Des Moines, kind of over there by the Val Air Ballroom, Sully's, the filling station.
𝗀cie𝗶𝗃's house.
𝗀cie𝗶𝗃's house.
I heard the 𝗀cie𝗶𝗃 special gets some play Monday on Overthinking, which is a fun show at noon that continues to build a nice audience.
Hey, I don't have a climbing kite, but I do. I want to join the beer here, so I'm going to just crack this open while we do more.
Yeah. The beer gear. No, they got bottled water here. I'm the only one with the beer. Okay. It is National Pet Day. And in honor, here is Lewis, as I was working on the podcast this morning. Isn't that cute? He'd been playing with his giraffe. Then he passed out.
It's so good to see him
legs
unmuzzled.
Yeah. Inside, it's good. Outside, he's got to wear that muzzle. He eats everything.
You're right there, Scott, after spilling that beer. Your computer good?
Did you spill? Did it overflow or you spilled?
I'm at my buddy Jim's house, and he has such a nice life, curated life.
Wait, hang on. You just spilled a beer at your buddy's house?
All over Rook.
Oh my.
You're on a roll
today.
today.
Could you tell he spilled, Andrew?
Did you run upstairs with the beer?
No, I made my fireman friend who gave me the factoid for Scott School today run it up here.
All right. U.S. egg prices have surged to a record high of $6.23 per dozen, despite a significant drop in wholesale prices and no new bird flu outbreaks on egg farms during the month. This increase, reported in the latest consumer price index, has dashed hopes for cheaper eggs by Easter. So many people, instead of coloring Easter eggs this year, are going to try using marshmallows instead. They're going to color marshmallows.
Really?
With vinegar?
I don't know.
My friend Jim just walked
I don't know
up.
how you
I guess
color a
he listened.
marshmallow. It's probably not vinegar. I don't think
Food
that was-
dye, dip it in.
Yeah, something like that. Hide the marshmallows. What's the difference? I mean, it just sucks because I usually, like, after Easter, I make a big thing of egg salad with all the Easter egg, all the Easter eggs.
You can make marshmallow salad.
Marshmallow salad. I guess you got to have that this year.
Do with some Jell-O and put the marshmallows in. What about? I thought a lot of the eggs were those plastic eggs that you open and there's like
Good year for plastic eggs. Yeah. On your egg hunt, use the plastic eggs, not the real ones this year. They're way too expensive.
Coloring eggs is part of the whole thing.
Yeah, I know. Well,
The cool thing
you
about the
can't
plastic
do that
eggs-
this year. So you got to color the
Plastic eggs will
marshmallows.
be around when Jesus comes back, so you can double dip.
Yeah, they'll be around forever. Let's just say that. I was thinking of our friend Bryce Miller this morning. He was always interested in this story, and this is the time of the year when it comes out. But they're doing the annual walleye collection at Rathbun Reservoir, Storm Lake, East Okoboji, and Spirit Lake. And this is always so cool. These are workers with the Iowa DNR. They go out into these lakes and they shock the lake. Basically, they put electrodes in it. They stun the fish. They float up and then they collect the big female walleyes that are full of eggs at the time, and then they bring them back into the hatchery and squeeze the eggs out of them, and they have a much higher hatch rate. But the cool thing about it, the part that Bryce just never got sick of, is that you have no idea how huge some of these fish are that are swimming in our Iowa waters. They are monsters. Look at these are gigantic walleye.
That's a big old fish.
These are bigger walleye than we catch up at Lac Seul in Ontario. Giant fish, and it's not just walleyes; it's northern pike and muskies up, in 𝗀𝗏𝗃𝗏, big muskies up there. And during the collection, they bring these just one monster fish after another, and you'll never see them again probably the rest of the year. But they're in there, and here's the proof. Travis Kelce addressed and denied reports claiming that he donated over $3 million to fight homelessness in Kansas City, calling them false claims. On his podcast, he shared some false claims were thrown out there that I was doing something in the community that I was not. So the false story apparently started to make the rounds after a questionable charity claimed Kelce donated housing, mentorship, and educational resources to youth. It was picked up by some media outlets. Kelce even got praised for the untrue charitable move. So we wanted to make sure that the truth got out there. Now,
well, that's kind of refreshing in a sense, because normally it goes the other way. It's like just
they
want
take
everybody
credit
to
for
know
something they didn't actually do. Yeah.
Well, or it's just like the story going around about me being in a hotel room with 11 prostitutes at once. That is false.
Yeah.
That did not happen.
I
mean,
wasn't
this is
paying
like
them.
a really positive story.
Well,
Yeah.
and the same thing kind of happened here in Des Moines. A viral feel-good Facebook post said that Caitlin Clark had invested $3.3 million to turn a Des Moines home into a youth homeless shelter. That is not the case. So those who saw the picture kind of immediately knew that it was BS, because the home that they showed in the picture was none other than the Salisbury house, which is certainly not going to be turned into a homeless shelter.
No, those bedrooms are too big.
No, and it's not for sale. Caitlin Clark may have the money to buy it, but it's not for sale. But this just kind of sucks, right? In both of these cases, I mean, it's something really good, and
but you don't know what to believe.
These are two athletes that probably have 100% popularity in these cities that people want to believe. It sounds believable, right?
It does.
But then it's not true, and they have to come out and be like, no, I didn't do that. And then you want to be like, well, what did you do? But they shouldn't have to answer that question.
It does seem like a way to back people into a corner, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Why
it
aren't
does.
you giving? Why aren't you buying a house for all these homeless
Right.
people?
Like, I mean, like if somebody, it's like with the collection plate at church, and somebody comes up and is like, hey, I heard you put $100 bill in here today. Thank you for doing that. Was really nice. And you're like, do I lie about this and just let it ride? Or do I have to say, no, I didn't put anything in the collection plate, but here's $50. That's all I got.
That's actually a really good strategy.
Really unfortunate.
But sometimes that level of celebrity, it's like can't win. You'll see from time to time somebody, Taylor Swift or someone will donate $100,000 to something, and there will be this blowback of $100,000. That's nothing.
Yeah,
she's worth $100 million.
Yeah, you made $40 million on your tour last year.
She could have given nothing.
Right.
I mean, it's whatever
You can't
somebody
win.
tried.
Yeah,
you
you're right.
You can't win. It's really hard.
Everybody
to win.
loves to tell everybody else what to do with their money.
True.
Yeah, absolutely. What they should do.
I need to talk to you about that after the show.
This is a good one. It used to be so easy to spot the signs of a midlife crisis, right?
Oh, boy.
The purchase of a new sports car, getting a much younger girlfriend.
Bill Belichick.
Coaching North Carolina.
That's more of a 2/3 life crisis, I think, for him.
Yeah, right. That's not he ain't midlife. You don't live to be 170. Or plastic surgery, a makeover there, were definite tip-offs that someone was on the brink. While people are definitely still having midlife crises, the signs of this sort of existential breakdown of in your 40s, actually, they look a little bit different today, apparently. Now, I will say that that's when I bought that old Corvette, which I didn't feel like a midlife crisis for me at the time. That's not why I bought it. I didn't feel like I was trying to act young again.
Dream
It was just
fulfillment.
like I could finally get something that I wanted when I was young. And then, but it did follow the true form of a midlife crisis in that I bought it, actually owned it, and then realized, why did I buy this? You know, it was a money pit. It seated 2 people. I had 2 kids and a wife. I mean, just dumb. I had a 2-car garage. It took up one of the spots. My truck had to sit outside. It was just dumb. All right. But today, here we go. The top signs of a modern midlife crisis. Okay. High intensity pursuits. Fitness buffs, thrill seekers behind this one, whether it's marathons, rock climbing, tough mudder races, or other extreme activities. See that?
I can see that because it seems like you're starting to realize your own mortality. So you're going to test yourself in a way that you've never tested and show that you're still young and strong and fit enough.
You're making me believe that hoodoo is part of my midlife crisis.
It might be.
But
honestly, I'm guilty of this one too. I think not that I do marathons or anything, but I'm way more conscious of workouts and my diet than I ever was before. When I was in my 20s and 30s, I didn't give a shit about what I was eating, drinking, whether I was exercising enough. It wasn't until I was like 35 that I actually started thinking about that stuff. And now I think about it all the time. Becoming an internet warrior.
Ready to fight?
Yeah, starts
Let's
with
go.
an unnecessarily savage comment left on someone's social media post, but evolves into long rants of venting their frustrations online like the worst Karen that's out there. Ice baths. Celebs like Kate Blanchett and Jennifer Aniston reportedly swear by them, but if suddenly somebody embraces plunging into a vat of Arctic temperature water, it could be a sign they're trying to numb something deeper.
I think what it is what I've often thought. There's good research that shows that cold plunges really do help. The problem is that I'm only going to start doing a cold plunge when I don't feel like I'm only doing it because I want to post it online and get credit for it. Like the moment I'm like, I'm going to do this in the silence and no one ever needs to know about this, that's when I'll start doing it. But I think most people do it just for the virtue signaling.
There is research that shows that it's probably not enough for most people to endure the discomfort that brings for most of us. But it's tough. Have you ever done it? It's rough.
I feel alive when I get done.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy, but it's part of the reason I think this goes with the midlife crisis is that it's midlife before you can afford some of this stuff. Like, I'll give you a good example. Murph, do you know anybody that has a hyperbaric chamber?
I don't. I know my dad used to have to go in those all the time after he was burned. So I'm very aware of what one is. I believe Michael Jackson was one of the people who got a hyperbaric chamber.
Yeah, this is a chamber that they've become more accessible to regular people that aren't Michael Jackson. I have a friend that has one.
Really?
They're still expensive. They're still very expensive. But they basically you get in. It's almost like a big balloon that you get in, and you zip it up. It's airtight, and then
I know what you're talking about.
And then it basically makes you feel like you're deep sea diving, and the pressure it pops your ears in and stuff. And apparently that's good for you somehow. I don't really know how it works, but they go in that and they'll spend like an hour in the hyperbaric chamber, and they said it does all this shit for your body or whatever. And I don't think any of it is really corroborated by, actual science, but
I've seen those on some sports documentaries where athletes do that.
They do, and they've got the
up
money.
healing.
So I think that's kind of why it's associated with, when you get to midlife and you're like, damn, I'm almost dead. I better hang on to these last 25 years I got. With all I got, I've got this money. Maybe I'll invest in some of these things that maybe will make me a little bit healthier. So people
and those
fall
things
victim to
can
that
help
kind of stuff.
optimize life, but a lot of us, we're not at the point where we need to actually clean up our life before we try to optimize it. And I feel like these hyperbaric chambers, I'm not all that familiar with the evidence that actually surrounds them. It's like you do that as part of a huge optimization of your life, not just, you don't just do hyperbaric and it's like, that's it.
But many things are, if you believe that it's making you healthier, it has the placebo effect.
That's what I say about Guinness.
If you adopt that along with better diet and workout and all that kind of stuff, yeah, absolutely, you'll help yourself. Divorce memoirs, bookstores are full of new ones, and the genre is blooming. So either readers are looking for literary escapism, or they're searching for an instructional manual.
That sounds awful. What a terrible beach read.
Yeah. Be careful. Everybody should memorize those titles so that you can make sure that no one in your life is reading them.
All right. Andrew will think this is funny. Getting a little too into streetwear. Rocking a pair of sneakers is one thing, but swapping a go-to style for a wardrobe full of graphic tees and oversized hoodies and sweatpants may be a red flag.
Yeah,
psychedelic retreats, calling all Aaron Rodgerses.
I really want to do this, but
you do a psychedelic, the ayahuasca, where you got the puke bucket, and you're just sitting there listening to the guy.
I don't really want to do that. I feel like I would take acid in a medical situation. Like in Denver, I think you can take it under nurse supervision. Like I'd love to be on one of those because I think it'd probably help me.
What a horrible job. Yeah, I'm an
RN.
I specialize in acid trippers.
Supervising acid trippers who aren't the Beatles.
Sitting there for 12 hours with somebody.
You need a guide when you go on those things.
out.
I mean, Frodo and Samwise didn't go all the way to Mordor without Gandalf. Now, he did abandon them at some point.
Gandalf wasn't with him at all.
Well, fly fools.
Gollum was with him. He was trying to kill him.
Andy, I feel like the biggest modern midlife crisis is your friend shows up and their face no longer moves. Like there's no expressions anymore.
Yeah,
I've been thinking about that, guys. Do I need to do that? Look at this. Do you think, like, if I just got this pulled back, you think it looks better? You think I look better like this?
No.
What
if I added some hair? Right here.
What did Bill Burr say? Like the male facelifts, those don't work. He's like, they're still working on that. They haven't got the kinks out yet.
I've earned these wrinkles. Today
R&D.
I've earned extra ones.
Yeah, it seems very, very seldom do the male facelifts work.
I mean, Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt just got a facelift that looks really good.
Tom Cruise.
How do you know this?
Good,
Allegedly,
Tom Cruise Tom Cruise doesn't look good.
You can see the cut on Tom Cruise right here. This is where you want to look on the ear to where you get that face pulled back, and then they remove the skin. Yeah, and Brad Pitt, he just debuted his new face at a tennis match.
What are you talking? Allegedly, what? I don't want the AI bots to shut us down and put us into litigation. Andy just said things are going well for Iowa everywhere.
I'm sorry, Brad Pitt. If everybody's wondering how this 50-year-old looks so sexy,
he's 61.
He's 60. Okay.
Yeah. Wonder if anybody buys a big lawnmower as a part of a midlife crisis.
Hell yeah.
You're going to find out today.
Yeah, somebody who has a teeny tiny lawn that you would normally break up between four brothers. Will you just get a giant riding lawnmower instead?
Get a riding mower just so you have maybe two seats, one for your balls.
I quote Brian Gumbel, let's move on. Have you ever been curious about what's inside a fellow passenger's suitcase at the airport? The latest Found report from Unclaimed Baggage is offering us a glimpse. They're the company that contracts with domestic airlines to buy bags that owners don't pick up after a 90-day search, and then they donate, recycle, or sell those items at their retail store in Scottsboro, Alabama. That's where they had the 𝗀𝗃𝗃 Blues. Some of last year's most fascinating and unexpected finds include freeze-dried chicken foot movie script from the Goonies.
Hang on. Did you say freeze-dried chicken foot?
Yep. Foot. Movie script from the Goonies, toilet seat, a glass eye. You'd think somebody would come looking for that.
Well, they can't.
How is a movie script from the Goonies in with a glass eye and a freeze-dried pig's
these
foot?
are not all in the same
This sounds like
bag.
the next
These are
script for
separate
Goonies.
things. These are separate bags.
Does anybody
Separate
ever
bags.
have 2 glass eyeballs? Or is it always just one?
It's just one.
Why would you have...
I mean,
Do you? No,
if
that's
you
a
had
really
good glass eyeballs,
That's a really good question. That I hate to have to give the credit to Scott for that. But what if you are missing both eyes? Do you get 2 glass eyeballs? I mean,
or do you have like a glass eye for formal and like a glass eye for casual?
maybe you keep an eye patch over one eye and a glass eye in the other.
Is there any market for bloodshot glass eyes?
I need it.
That way no one would be able to tell the difference between teeth.
Tooth bedazzling kit. Putting the jewels on the
what?
teeth. A full sheet of uncut $2 bills. A letter signed by Eleanor Roosevelt from 1944. A cuckoo clock. And lots of dildos.
I'm sorry?
Yeah. The most valuable treasures found in bags in 2024 include a $39,000 diamond ring, $10,000 Louis Vuitton suitcase.
Vuitton?
Louis
Is that the
Vuitton.
suitcase in a suitcase or just the suitcase itself was unclaimed?
Oh.
A $14,000 M11 rangefinder camera, whatever that is.
Oh.
I'm going to guess it's a camera.
Nice camera.
A $20,000 18-karat gold Rolex watch. Oh, my God. Can you imagine losing that in your suitcase? And a Chanel tweed coat dress worth $9,600. From the files of some headlines, don't need stories, we bring you this. Man says dispatcher was ordering a McGriddle while taking his 911 call.
Hang on just a second. Yeah, and a large Diet Coke. Yeah. No. No.
In Georgia, Dylan Johnson.
Would you like fries with that?
That actually sounded. That was a really good impersonation of a drive-through.
Yeah. Now we did that.
Yeah. Do you have a drive-through effect on that microphone?
Yeah. Let's see it. Let's hear it again, Scott.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
No, that's helium.
That's helium.
Attention, all campers.
Yeah, that's it right there.
That's really good. How'd you do that?
Okay, I've got to say I've got a McGriddle. Would you like hash browns or orange juice with that? All right. Dylan Johnson in Georgia called 911 to report a possible break-in at his home, but the dispatcher appeared distracted, seemingly placing a McDonald's order during the call. Johnson's wife, home alone with her infant, heard someone banging on doors and windows. After multiple attempts to reach 911, he finally connected with the dispatcher, who was overheard saying, yeah, I'll take the McGriddle. Before addressing Johnson's concerns. Apparently the police department is looking into this. Let's finish up with a round of Who's the Ass.
You asshole.
You're an asshole.
Stop breaking the law, asshole! Back off, asshole!
This machine just called me an asshole.
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes. Keep firing, assholes!
I'm an American. You're a sick asshole.
Okay. It reads like this. I was hoping Jeff would be nearby because I thought maybe he would want to offer his 2 cents here, but he's out talking to people over by the Cub Cadets.
He's probably busy.
He is busy. We've got a bunch of people here. It reads like this. My neighbor's tree hangs over my yard and keeps the grass from growing. I've asked him in the past to have it pruned, but he's basically ignored me. Finally, last year, I had it pruned myself. But while the crew was working on the tree, one of the big branches fell and took out a portion of the fence below. It's an old fence, and it belongs to my neighbor, and the tree was starting to push it over anyway. It needed to be replaced. My neighbor has a dog, and I don't, and now the dog escapes the yard through the hole in the fence, so my neighbor is pissed. He asked me to replace the fence. I said, I'll replace the fence if you pay for the tree pruning. The tree pruning was over $1,000. The fence can probably be fixed for less than that. Haven't heard back from him on that. In fact, we've stopped speaking altogether. Fence looks bad and my wife is very annoyed, but I know I'm in the right here, so I'm not budging. He can either fix his own fence or he can pay me for the tree pruning. Who's the asshole? The guy who wanted the tree pruned or the cheapskate neighbor?
This is a good one, and as you know, Andy, I've had some experience with this years ago at our house when.
Let's go over that one again. That was
something similar. We had several incidents, but also a friend of ours who I won't say his name here in case he doesn't want this revealed, but they just had almost this exact thing happen. They couldn't get the neighbor to trim the tree that was really infringing on their backyard in a way that lessened their enjoyment of their home. So they finally cut some of it, and then he got really pissed.
The guy who owned the tree got mad?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Why would he get mad? That's pruning that he didn't have to do.
But it's his tree, and he felt like, I mean, the law says that you can't just, the tree is where it originates, right? You can't just trim someone else's
I
tree.
think if it goes into your property, I think you can do something about it without asking them. I think that's...
Is that right?
Yeah.
You could probably do something about it, but then if it causes damage, that's on you. Like, I don't see how this... And again, this is kind of like the one a week or two ago where everybody around this person is telling him something, and he's like, but I know I'm right, so fuck them all.
I'll go to the internet.
My wife's pissed at me. The neighbor's pissed at me. The police won't do anything, but I know I'm right. Like, no, you're the asshole.
I'm not giving it up. I'm right. Everyone else is wrong. Yeah, I mean, like most of these, there's some levels here where both parties could have done better.
For sure.
But if you go to have the tree pruned and it falls on the fence, you got to fix the fence.
That's a good point, Andrew. I do love these. I love these rounds where everybody is surrounding the guy, calling him an asshole, and he's wondering if he's the asshole. He needs to appeal to a wider audience. No. Let me reach out for a fourth opinion.
Yeah, he's not even wondering. He's saying, I know I'm in the right.
Yeah, let's cast a wide net.
I feel for this
Somebody
guy.
will agree with me.
I mean, I do feel for the guy because he's just like,
Is this Nico Harris, by the way? I knew that was a good trade. I don't know what everybody's thinking about.
Yeah, I'm sure it's
great trade. What's going on?
Brian says the law states if it's over the property line, you can do whatever you want.
Okay.
Sam Lozada, our friend, says it's stories like this that make me never want to own a home.
Or a tree. You're missing the point. You don't want to own a tree, but you do want to own a home.
Yeah, I mean those big old trees, and Murph, you definitely have them in your neighborhood. I mean the tree doesn't care. They keep growing in all directions.
Keith, at one point, didn't your neighbor just like let all of their water from their property run onto your property? Is that what happened?
Yeah, they turned.
He had it like channeled towards you, like aimed at you.
Just flooded straight into our yard to get rid of their water during flooding.
He made like a Chattahoochee Canal, like straight into your basement.
He did always tell on himself, but he was always pissed about it. He came over one time. He's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry. I need to tell you. I don't think he said sorry. He said, need to tell you, just damaged your gutters. I got an ice rake and I wanted to test it out before he was on my house. Just wanted to test it on your house."
Yeah.
But he did tell us he damaged the gutter.
Your place is a guinea pig.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to ruin my own house, but I accidentally ruined yours.
And then maybe most famously, backed out of the yard straight into Jenny's car. And he's like, yeah, you had your car parked out on the street where it made it hard to make a turn. So I backed into your car.
This guy is on Reddit asking who's the a-hole.
He's legally allowed to park there. So we don't. Yeah.
This is a great story. This is a good time to tell. My friend Matt, his neighbor had like 7 cars parked on the street, like all in front of his house. Matt couldn't park anything out in front. It was just always in front there during the winter because the guy wouldn't plow his driveway. So he couldn't get his cars in the driveway. He'd park them on the street. And so Matt was like, man, is there any way you could leave me a space in front of my own house so I can put a car out there? And he's like, oh man, I'm sorry. I can't park my cars in the driveway. They're covered with snow. Matt should have said, why don't you shovel your damn driveway and then you can do that. But Matt's like, well, okay. When I'm snow blowing my driveway, I'll come over and snow blow your driveway. And it's like, and that way you can put your cars in the driveway and you get them in the garage. Oh, okay. Well, that's nice. Yeah. Okay. So Matt's snow blowing the driveway, hits a rock, breaks the light on the side of the guy's garage.
Oh.
And Matt's like, oh, shit, what do I do now? And Matt goes up and he's figuring the guy's going to be like, he's like, hey man, I broke your light. I'm sorry. I was still blowing your driveway. And the guy'd be like, oh, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. But the guy goes, Matt's like, well, I broke your light. And the guy's like, well, that's all right. You can buy me a new one when you get around to it. He's just like, God, I can't win. I can't win with this guy.
Right.
I mean, some people just don't. They have no self-awareness, and the problem is you just don't want to live next to those people. Man. Sometimes you do. That's your more, everybody.
That was a good one. All right. Thank you. So did we decide the a-hole is more the person who doesn't want to pay for the fence?
I think so. One thing I don't know is whether or not whose fence it is, whether it's the neighbor's or his. That might have a little bit, but yeah,
it sounds like it's the neighbor's fence.
Yeah, it's the neighbor's fence.
Okay. All right.
Just
I'm going to invite Jeff to come over here and explain a little bit more about what's going on. I think he finally came inside.
All right. Well, you do that. We'll get to the Andrew Downs audio drop of the day. We call it the AD squared, and hopefully Jeff doesn't hear.
Yeah, it's powered by Game Day Men's Health. I go to the one in Ankeny in the Prairie Trail neighborhood. You can go to West Des Moines on University, or if you're in the eastern side of the state, North Liberty is where you'll find Game Day. Wherever you are, you'll find a Game Day Men's Health, and they can help you out. It is Friday, so some parental advisory is necessary. None of these bleeps are necessary. It's all innocent conversation, but I have placed bleeps to make you hear things that aren't actually being said. What you hear is on you, not us. It's This Week in Iowa Unnecessary Censorship.
Sat at the corner of the bar and ate dinner. The ladies did the beer roulette, and Scott and I got the
because my mom is from South Carolina, loves the cocks, and that's a huge dick that they serve down there.
Some rich car dealer or investment banker just wants to step forward and give one player a big dick and not give it to anybody else. I mean, they can do that.
Our kids played that dumb claw game at every Godfather's pizza.
Spicy dick is the best new potato chip flavor I've tasted.
I'm a big fan.
I don't know, man.
Really good.
I don't like the idea of a without skin.
I promise you it's better.
How could it be better? The skin is the best part.
Then the juices don't all squirt out on you.
Oh, I loved when the juices squirt.
It's all over your face.
Warchild and Keanu Reeves, Johnny Utah are just and Warchild grabs the back of his head and starts like shoving it towards these and look at how close Keanu's face is to those man.
That's beautiful face.
That's not a stunt, man.
Oh, well done. Well done, AD. Very nice. Jeff.
Hey. There is our man, Jeff. That's right. Yeah, let's get those windows out of it. This is tight. This, you know, P&P Small Engines, for everything that you guys have, you don't have good TV lighting.
We don't. We got to work on that.
Jeff Nicholson has been with us for a long time on the Murph and Andy show. And from time to time, well, really every spring, he has a big open house. That's what we're here for. But you have, where do you put all of these lawn mowers when we're not here?
It's a strategy. It's kind of like Jenga, but no, we actually have quite a bit of space out behind our building. We've got a fenced-in area. We have it set up like the state fair every day back there. So when you walk in, we take you back there, and we're showing you. I mean, you'll walk by 80 different mowers that we got set up.
Okay, so you've got the Cub Cadet people here, Toro people. What's the other one? Ferris, Gravely?
I got Ferris, Steel, and Hustler. I knew I was missing one of them.
Okay. And the other thing that I've noticed is that, as we men do, if there's power equipment, there are men standing around talking about the power equipment. They may not actually be buying it. They just want to be in the area where power equipment is being discussed.
That is true. And sometimes you have to listen about the one they had 20 years ago, and they're not in the market. And sometimes, you know, they're ready to switch it up, and they're tired of getting beat up by another manufacturer's brand, and they're looking for suspension, and we can get them into one of the Steels or the Ferrises.
Well, but what you're also saying, there's a lot of pretending to care in your line of work.
There are sometimes we have to struggle through a 45-minute story about an old mower. Yes.
All right. So you've got specials on stuff today. This is a time to get yourself set up for the mowing season, which could be on us by the end of the weekend.
Yeah, I think everybody's going to need to mow here in the next 7 to 10 days for sure. We do have all of our brands have some sort of sale going. Some are marked down farther, but some of our bigger mowers are up to $2,000 off. We've got special financing on a lot of them. It doesn't matter which color, which brand. They're all on sale today and tomorrow, and then there's some of the sales that'll go away next week, but it is a great time to buy deals that we haven't seen in several years. So.
One of the things that you got here that I like are these basically interchangeable pieces of steel power equipment, steel STIHL, and you can just switch out the heads and change it from a hedge trimmer to a regular trimmer to a pole saw, just all with one piece of equipment.
Yeah, the combi system. So basically, you get an engine, and then you put whatever pieces on you'd like. We've got string trimmers, hedge clippers, the pole pruner attachment. There's a power sweeper. It's really popular to get those rocks out of the grass after winter if you've been pushing with a blade on a gravel driveway. Lots of different tools, edgers. You know, that one engine can run a lot of different things.
And also the thing that we always point out when we're talking about P&P small engines, when you buy local like this, you buy a big piece of lawn equipment, it gets beat up on your lawn, it's going to break at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Buy from a big box store, well, then you got to, figure out what to do at that point. You buy from Jeff, you just call Jeff and say, this broke, and you either come pick it up, or sometimes you guys just come out and fix it on the site.
Well, special people get that treatment.
I wasn't supposed to talk about that. Well, it's something small.
We do that once in a while. Just depends on what's going on. But yes, we are here to service your equipment when you need us. We like to say that it's not if it's going to break, it's when. You can buy equipment from a lot of different people and some big box stores, but when you get it at home, not the other places don't take care of you in the same way that we do. We've got a full service team back there. We go the extra mile for people that buy from us.
They do a lot of servicing here of their equipment and whatever is brought in at the P&P Small Engines. It's on the east side of Des Moines, 2715 East University Avenue. See all the mowers, brightly colored out front. It's a good day to get over there and do that. Tomorrow, hours are what?
9 to 2 tomorrow. We're here till 6 tonight, so good time to stop by, get something to eat, and take a look and test drive a mower.
All right. That's our man, Jeff Nicholson. He's brought us over here today at P&P Small Engine. There's Murph down there. Does he look like he's vacationing? Does he look red? Does his face look red? He's been taking a lot of crap today.
It looks a little puffy, I think. Might have stayed up too late and had a few too many last night, Jeff.
It happens, Murph.
Jeff is also serving some food here, so I want to get to the end of the show so I can make myself. Is there anything left? There might not be.
Well,
how's the wrestling team looking, Jeff?
What's that?
How's the wrestling team looking?
We had a great year. We had 2 guys in the finals. First time PCM ever had 2 guys in the finals. Very exciting. Got a lot of young guys that be we'll have a lot of success, I think, in the next few years. So yeah, the team looked great. It was a great year. You know, it was a great year for wrestling in Iowa. The NCAAs went well for all of our schools, and exciting time.
Love it. All right. Thank you, Jeff. Thanks for being with us so long. We appreciate it. And make sure Andy doesn't eat all the food intended for other customers.
We'll try.
All right. That's our friend Jeff with P&P Small Engines open house going on all afternoon. You can still get over there. Quickie poll results are presented by 𝗀cie Pools and Spas.
Do you care if there's a spring football game or scrimmage? Most people don't. 87% say no. Just 13% go with yes. And then when did you mow your? When did you first mow a yard? 62% in elementary school, 32% in middle school, just 5% high school later, 2% still haven't. And Murph, your son Cade, producer of Overthinking, chimed in the comments that he has never mowed a lawn. Is that true?
It is. Yeah, he had brothers who wanted to mow the yard and liked to mow the yard. So, I mean, there was competition for that money in the chores feed.
And you paid your kids? See, I didn't get paid.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We paid our kids for chores because we wanted them to learn, like, you work, you get money. We didn't want to just assign them chores or just give them an allowance for doing nothing. So it was always
like it.
Well, but usually the allowance is for doing the chores, though, right? That's
you could come up with a number, but we like to get more done. The way to get more done was to offer more incentives.
Put a price tag on stuff. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. You unload the dishwasher all week. It's this amount of money, that kind of thing. And Cade also was the kid that we were most sure would somehow accidentally mow over his own foot. So we kind of decided let's just work right around Cade. We'll swing it to Colin next. But I do remember being concerned as elementary school. You forget how young that is, and you do have that concern, especially with our yard, Andy AD. You know, we have these big sloping hills. You do start to worry about, don't pull that mower toward you. Don't pull it toward your feet. Be really careful. And then at some point, do you remember Van Harden had that terrible accident where he cut off his heel with the lawnmower, and that was going through my head. So I think we were really cautious.
Oh yeah, there's a learning curve, and you mess some things up as you're learning to mow a yard. I mean, you do. You're either messing up your yard, you kick a rock out, mess up your house, or in the worst case scenario, you can possibly hurt yourself. But it's with the exception of hurting yourself, the other stuff is just kind of like a necessary evil. You just kind of have to work through it, and figure it out, make mistakes.
Show's been going so long, my light just ran out of juice. That's probably a sign that we should call it a day. So thankful to Jeff and all of our friends at P&P Small Engines Open House. Still time for people to run by there, Andy?
Yeah, absolutely. They're wide open. There's quite a few people here right now. People bringing in their stuff. You've got stuff to be fixed. You don't need anything new. They're taking orders for that too.
Thank you. It was fun to be with everybody. It's always great to connect, even well on weekend vacation. Thank you for having fun with us and for supporting local media. Be sure to check out the merch store starring Andrew Downs and AKC Marketing at iowaeverywhere.com. If you get a chance, please like, review, subscribe, whatever you can do on whatever platform you found us. It really helps. We're back Monday. We hope you are too.